Hey y'all, it's Brody, and today I'm here to give you a review of one of my most anticipated 2020 releases, that is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. So if you're not aware, brief plot synopsis, Clown in a Cornfield follows teenager Quinn Maybrook as she and her father move from their city home of Philadelphia to the tiny town of Kettle Springs. This is because her father has to, find a new practice because he's a doctor, and also because Quinn's mother has died of an overdose. So they kind of want to leave their old life behind and, start fresh in this new town because they think everything's gonna be better. But there's a clown that's murdering people, so it's not necessarily better. So after a prank goes wrong at this big celebration that they call Founders Day, Quinn and her friends go to a party in a cornfield. And guess what's in the cornfield? It's a clown. The clown starts killing everyone various ways, as slashers do, and Quinn and her friends have to try and survive the night and escape from this murderous clown called Friendo. Like I said, this is a spoiler-free review, so I won't be going too in-depth on everything, but I'm going to give you 5 reasons that I really enjoyed it, and I think you would like it too. Number 1 is Quinn as a character. She's kind of an apathetic character, like things don't seem to faze her that much, but over the course of the story, as more and more people die, you really see her character development and through her actions, and that's something I thought was very well done, because this is a slasher, and I love the slasher genre, and I am very familiar with the slasher genre. It's very common where you're not really in the characters' heads, because slashers are primarily about, how many cool kills can we fit into the sequence before we get a X rating. Do they still do X ratings? I don't know. You don't really get to be in the characters' heads as much in slasher films. A lot of their character development is going from being the, kind of quirky, innocent main character final girl type to being a badass who saves the day. That's very true for Quinn. I wouldn't necessarily call her a stereotypical final girl, but she is the new girl in town who's trying to fit in. So seeing her character development and going from kind of an apathetic character who is more standing on the sidelines of this new location to being someone who is active in trying to save the day and trying to save her friends and these people who have welcomed her into the town that she cares for. It was very interesting to see that progress. I love the small town setting as well. I think it's perfect for this kind of book. With most slashers, you have them set in an area away from authority, right? So with big films like Friday the 13th and Halloween and, all the slasher staples, the primary setup is to take a group of teenagers and then put them away from authority and start killing them one by one. So because you have such a small town setting, they are in the middle of a cornfield. If you've never been inside a cornfield, those things are fucking massive. It works because you are taking these teenagers, you are getting them drunk, you are causing them to fight, and then you are killing them off one by one. It is fantastically done in this book. I really, really loved the way that the setting of the cornfield kind of plays into the horror of it, because you don't know what's coming. You can hear the corn stalks rustling, but is that a teenager who's just gotten their arm chopped off trying to get away? Or is that the clown who's coming to chop off my arm? You don't know. Number 3, I really like the dynamics between the adults and the teenagers, especially in a small town that's so focused on tradition. A lot of the adults kind of view the teenagers as being a nuisance to the town. There are lots of pranks that go wrong and they live stream everything and put it on YouTube. Actually, in the epilogue, one of our main characters, Cole, his sister dies because she gets drunk at a party and jumps into a reservoir and hits her head, and that's live streamed, and that has kind of caused the collapse of the town because Cole's father owns this factory where everyone kind of worked. That was the lifeblood of the town, and he tried to burn it down, and then more pranks ensued. So all the adults hate the teenagers for ruining the economy and stuff like that. So I do think that was really well done, and it was very interesting to see how that played out, how the sheriff is I want to keep everyone safe because they're causing ruckuses and they're causing problems, and the girl died and now the town is going to shit, while the teenagers are just hey, we're just teenagers, we're being stupid, we're having fun. I thought that was very well done. And it was an interesting dynamic that's not usually played with slashers, because like I said, the key component with slashers is removing the authority figure away from the teenagers. And in this, the authority figure and the teenagers are fighting each other. They are rivaling each other. So that was kind of an interesting subversion. I really liked the villain. I'm not going to spoil it and tell you who the villain is, but Friendo the clown, right? He's the clown that's killing people. He's the clown that's murdering all the teenagers at the party. So what Friendo represents for the town are two very different things that kind of ties back into what I was talking about the generational divide. So to the adults, Friendo represents like Kettle Springs pride, right? He is the mascot for the town. He saved the town from depression years ago, as the rumors say. And with the factory, he is the mascot. His giant ass face is painted on the side of the building and it stares through Quinn's window every night. So Friendo to the adults of the town represents like hope and tradition, and like this is what it's all about. And then with the teenagers who are kind of like over Friendo, they kind of think he's stupid. For them, it represents the adults telling them like, you can't do this, you have to do this, you have to be this way. And with Friendo being the villain, I thought that was very interesting. So for these teenagers to literally be killed off one by the manifestation of these adults who are trying to control their lives, y'all, it like blew my mind. So I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was an interesting take. It kind of reminds me, so think of it kind of in the same vein as Child's Play, I guess. We all know that in Child's Play franchise, Chucky the Killer Doll is trying to take over Andy's body and kill him. And because that was a toy that Andy got while he was a child, that represents his childhood. And by Chucky turning evil, that's the death of his childhood. So it's not exactly the same, but think of it as a metaphorical kind of that sense. So it's like the thing that all of these adults are clinging to and saying is good is the thing that's killing us, that we hate. I don't know if that was intentional, that's just how I interpreted it, and I thought it was like, I loved it. I really loved it. And the fifth thing, the kills in this book are phenomenal. That's the one thing that I was worried about, because for this to be a slasher novel, for me, slasher films are not about character development. They're not really about the setting and stuff. Those are things I can appreciate. But for me, slashers are about the kills, and Adam Cesare did not disappoint with the kills. James A. Janice, who is Dead Meat on YouTube, it's a podcast and a YouTube channel, he does these videos called kill counts. I kind of want to do a kill count video for this book. I don't know if I would get in trouble for that, but like, I kind of want to do it. So right off the top of my head, I know that there were a bunch of kids who were killed with a crossbow. There was a kid who was stabbed to death with a knife. There were kills involving chainsaws and circular saws and pitchforks and burning buildings and cars and dynamite and guns. It was so good. It was so good. It was so gory. It was claps for you writing fantastic murder scenes. Can I pick a favorite kill? Let me just like turn to a page. My favorite kill in this book, I can't tell you the character's name because it's a spoiler, but basically one character finds out that there's something more going on with the clown, so they go to warn everyone at the party, and they get their face chopped off with a circular saw. There's a lot more that I loved about Clown in a Cornfield, but those would go into spoilers, and spoilers I can't get into on my channel here. So, if you have read this book and you would like to talk to me further about it, please message me on Twitter. Please message me on Twitter. That's all I have for this video today. I just wanted to film a quick little review video telling you that you should go read Clown in a Cornfield. It's one of the few books this year that I actually pre-ordered. I was so excited when it came in. I read it in like 2 sittings. Perfect for spooky season. Please go check it out, go read it, go support Adam. He has a YouTube channel that I will leave linked down below. Horror, author tuber, booktuber, all kinds of cool stuff on there. I've been subscribed for a while now, and I really enjoy his content. So if you're a horror fan, make sure you go check that out. Comment question of the day. This one is a little weird, but if you were a slasher villain, what would be your weapon of choice? I'm really tempted to go with like the fish hook from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Sarah Michelle Gellar, rest in peace. If you have read Clown in a Cornfield, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but make sure you keep them spoiler-free because this is a spoiler-free video and we don't want to spoil people who may be watching. If you want to talk spoilers, though, and you have read it, my Twitter DMs are open. Please let me talk about this book with you. Please let me talk about this book with you. Everything I've mentioned today will be in the downstairs description for you to go check out, including links to Adam's YouTube. So make sure you are go subscribing and following him, as well as all the links to my social media, so my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Goodreads, as well as places to support me further outside of YouTube, like my Ko-fi, my PayPal, and my Amazon wishlist. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. Happy October. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, cool. All right. Stay spooky.